Hi, I'm Dr. Broussard with the Waggin Trained Veterinary Clinic, and in today's segment we're going to discuss pain management in dogs. My assistant Cole and I have put together a list of questions that we get commonly asked by clients, and we're going to run through that list of questions to hopefully give you a better understanding. Cole?
Dr. Broussard, what is the difference between acute and chronic pain in dogs?
Okay. Acute pain is more or less short in nature. Not necessarily duration, but like it's only been there for a little while. It just recently emerged. Whereas chronic pain would be, as the name implies, more over a longer period of time. So maybe an arthritic dog that's been hurting for weeks or months, or in some cases even years, that would obviously be chronic pain.
How quickly should I bring in my dog if I suspect that they are in pain?
Right away, really, would be my answer there. It's kind of a vague term when your dog is in pain. So obviously for an acute pain or injury or anything like that, you'd want to address it as soon as possible. That might even be an emergency basis type thing. But even if it's not an acute injury or an emergency type basis, would you want to walk around in pain every day at all times? Of course you wouldn't. So as soon as you notice any clinical signs that your dog may be experiencing pain of some sort or another, yeah, I think it's wise to get them addressed or get them looked at, get them examined by your veterinarian, and see if there's things that we can do or put them on that can help alleviate some of that pain.
What are some signs and symptoms of pain in my dog?
Good, because I was almost going to explain that in the last question. But so it kind of depends on where they are painful and how intense that pain is. So some of the more common things can be aggression or biting at you, and perhaps at themselves. So at you, because if they're hurting, they're just grumpy. They're just kind of, it hurts. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to be moved. They may not want to be petted. So sometimes they can show that aggression towards you. Other times they can show it towards themselves. And not that they're self-mutilating or anything, but say, for example, their hips hurt. You might find that the dog is turning around biting at its hips or licking at that area or something. Because in their minds, it's like they're trying to do something to alleviate or minimize that pain. Other signs of pain, let's think about paws, because that's for whatever reason that came to my mind first. If they have a cut on a paw, maybe they sprained one of their paws or something along those lines, then obviously it could just be simply a limp. They're walking around not bearing full weight, or maybe even just three-legged, not walking on that leg at all. Other signs can be like, say, arthritis in the hips, one of the most common things we see. Those dogs can be very reluctant to sit. Maybe they'll sit off to one side. Maybe they don't sit. Maybe they just want to pace all the time because they're not comfortable sitting. And then the reverse is true. So when they do get a sitting or lying position, they really struggle getting up, So sometimes it's after a long nap, or maybe they're waking up first thing in the morning and it takes an act of Congress to get them up, up and standing up and moving around. So again, kind of a wide array because it depends on the intensity and where the pain is located. But I think any and all of those things, and I'll even, while I'm saying these, one or a couple of more things I can think of too would be shaking. A lot of times a dog, people come back and say, "Oh, my dog's trembling. What does that mean?" Well, he's scared. Most times, no. They could be cold, but if it's the middle of summer and they're shaking, so another thing it could be is pain or discomfort. That can make them tremble. Even panting. It's just think about all the ways that they have to express that something's not right. Something is hurting, something feels off, and those are sometimes they're subtle if you're not looking for them, but if you are looking for them, they can be quite evident.
Are human pain pills like Tylenol or Advil okay to give my dog?
No, for the most part, no. Advil, absolutely no. One dose or even, one dose of Advil, and I've seen it where they can have stomach ulcers and bleeding and vomiting and just, it causes a whole lot of GI issues that you don't want to play with, not to mention what it can do to the kidneys, which is wipe them out. So no, Advil, no. Honestly, guys, I would say Tylenol, no too. I know that there are doses that have been used and can potentially be used, but short answer is no. There's too many good veterinary approved products that can be used. Consult your veterinarian, maybe go see your veterinarian, and they will be more than happy to prescribe you with a proper product that probably even does the job better than over-the-counter drugs anyway.
What are the medications you typically use for pain management?
Yeah, so again, on the veterinary side, like we're using probably the most popular class that we use, especially for chronic pain, something that the dog may have to take long-term, would be what we call NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And those would be things such as, for those of you that may have heard of or used, Rimadyl, Previcox. There used to be one called Edagesic. There's one called Galliprant. Now the list goes on and on. There's a lot of different makes and manufacturers, but NSAIDs is one of the most common form or modalities of pain control that we have. Now, is it a true pain medicine? Well, it's an anti-inflammatory, so it helps with pain, but there are more specific analgesic drugs such as tramadol, morphine, buprenorphine. Those are opioid type drugs that'll really control pain that way. And lately we've been having a lot of surge in use of gabapentin. That's another one that helps with pain control, particularly neurologic pain. So yeah, those are some of the most common drugs that we use on a daily basis.
Can a veterinarian help me manage my dog's chronic pain?
Absolutely, absolutely, for all the ways I just mentioned. So yeah, in fact, look, just to summarize, if your dog is in pain, if you notice any of the signs that we just covered, get them in, get them checked, particularly if it's been a long time since your dog has been checked. They probably need to be examined anyway to look for not only that, but everything. So get your dog looked at. Your veterinarian will be more than happy to formulate a plan for you to control, because look, our job is to relieve animal suffering as best we can. We can't do that if we don't know where it is and what it's coming from. So get them in, get them looked at, and there's a whole plethora of drugs that can be used to control and alleviate the pain in most cases. Okay? All right, guys, that does it for this segment. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to us. You can call us. You can go to Facebook. Any way that you can to get a hold of us, we'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.